Hello, teacher.
Hello, Rafael.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well. I
Yes,
see.
teacher. Well,
I see
yes,
that you
I
calling me
am.
twice.
Yes, teacher. Because well, I'm assessing from the computer, and I don't have uh, a very good microphone on it, and neither I have a webcam. So I I assess too from my cell phone to get the webcam and the microphone. So it is the reason because I am twice in the virtual encounter.
I see. And how are you doing at school?
Is there any
Are you...
problem with that? Or?
No, no. I just thought there was probably a problem, but no, it works well.
Okay,
I
teacher.
can hear
Well,
you
thank
and
you.
I can see your count, so that's not a
Thank you
problem.
for that.
Are you still working at the school?
Yes, teacher. I'm still doing it. Well, actually, I'm replacing a teacher because the teacher is sick since February, I think so, and
Uh-huh.
I'm doing his job. So I'm replacing it. It has been a good experience because I don't have too much experience teaching. I'm going to complete 2 years of experience teaching, and it has been good. And well, I'm doing it. I'm trying to do my best because it is not a good, an easy job, an easy task, and it has been a challenge for me to plan classes, to be creative with the students because sometimes they get bored, they don't want to participate, they don't want to do nothing, and it is a work. It is like a warning for the teacher, yes, to to face that. But well, uh,
It's a
it is
challenge,
it is
right?
it is yes, it's a challenge, and well, it has been a nice experience,
Well, Tanya,
and
your
I'm so happy
classmate, has
to
been a
see you again.
teacher. Thank you. Same.
Yes. Okay.
Tanya has also been, your classmate has also been a teacher, uh, I think for 4 years. So you
Yes.
could
Okay.
probably, so Tanya, Rafael was telling us about his experience at a school where he's working. If I'm not
Yes.
wrong, that is his first job at a school. So he's getting
Okay.
adapted to that change. Do you remember how was your experience when you started teaching at a school?
Yes. Well, I think that the first experience always is so complicated because it's a new thing for you. My first experience was with second graders in a school near to my house. So all the students, well, the thing is this. My mom was teacher in that school, and
Okay.
I was replacing another teacher
Yes.
because um, she she I don't know how did you say licencia de maternidad.
I'm gonna check.
I was covering her licencia de maternidad. I don't know. Was I was very young because in that time I was 20 no 19 years old. So I I think that is I the 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 most important thing in that experience is that I really know a lot of things now uh, in terms of methodologies to use with different ages because I was working with second graders, 11th graders, first graders, and preschoolers. So I think that I have a good experience with different ages.
Yeah. But how long did it take you to get adapted?
Excuse me, teacher?
How long did it take you to get adapted to that job?
The first part of the year, the first 6 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember my first experience at a school was with preschoolers, and it was kind of it was difficult because I knew how to teach adults, but I didn't know how preschoolers behaved and how they learned. So it took me also about 6 months to learn how they behave and what they liked. And it was a lot of work. I read a lot. I talked to a lot of teachers to get some advice from them. But yes, it was a difficult experience. Okay.
Teacher, in my first experience, I taught all the subjects in Spanish and English too. So I had a lot of work.
Yeah, and you had a lot of students.
Yeah, 30. Well, just one second grade.
Well, the word
30.
that you asked me is maternity leave.
Yes.
The teacher that you were replacing had her maternity leave.
Yes, thank you, teacher.
Okay. Carolina, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, teacher. How are you?
Good. If I'm not wrong, all of you have been in other classes with me.
Yes, I have been like in 2 classes with
Yeah, so I have talked to all of you before. I'm glad to have you again in this course. Some of you are also in other course, which is applied linguistics, so we will see each other twice a week. Well, so maybe also you have shared some classes before, so some of you have talked to each other before. If not, some of you already wrote a presentation, short presentation in the virtual room in the presentation link of the course. So you could like read a little bit about each other in that part of the virtual room. Good. So the first task that you had was about writing sentences about hypothetical situations. It was a short task. You had to watch some videos about the anti-corruption referendum, and then you had to write 7 sentences about the possible hypothesis or the possible consequences that Colombians will face if most of or the number of people needed, which is 12,100,000 people, would vote for the referendum. So we're going to review a little bit about how to talk about hypothetical situations, because most of you had some incorrect sentences. You missed the use of will and the use of would, and that's why we are going to review that a little bit. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask anytime during the time. So you are seeing my screen now, and I'm going to quickly summarize the uses of will and would, because as you have been studying, there are 3 different ways to talk about hypothetical situations. which are, well, which are called conditionals, right? For the task, you had to use the second conditional, which is to talk about hypothetical situations. We have a first conditional and we have a third conditional. Most of you use will for the sentences, but that is the one that is used for first conditional when the action that that is mentioned is very possible to happen. So there is a plan and there is a condition to meet. For example, for sure I'm going to work tomorrow, right? And after work, probably I will eat my, or after work, no, during midday, I will probably eat my lunch near the university or in other place. So anyway, the plan is that I need to have lunch, right? I'm going to do that. There is a possibility, which is to eat a lunch inside the university or close to the university. So since I am not sure about my decision, the decision that I will take tomorrow, I use will. I will probably eat lunch tomorrow close to the university if it doesn't rain, for example. So my decision of eating out depends on the weather in this case. So what you can see here is that what is planned for tomorrow is something that is very sure to happen, but I have two options, and then I have to meet one condition to choose one option, right? So since it is very possible that I eat outside the university, I can express that idea with will. And the condition, I express it with present simple, right? Could all of you please create a sentence about something that you would probably do tomorrow? Think about two options that you have for tomorrow and think about one of those options and the condition that you need or that needs to be met in order to choose that option. Oops. So please, each one of you create a sentence, say it aloud.
Okay, I will.
Yes,
Yes,
Rafael.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
I will probably cook. I will probably cook lunch tomorrow if my wife doesn't prepare it.
Good. Right.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, me. Okay, I will probably decorate my classroom if I don't have any meeting in the morning.
All right. Good. Who else?
I will probably go to the bank tomorrow in the afternoon if I finish my work early than usual.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's correct.
Probably run tomorrow if the time is good.
If the weather is
The
good.
weather is good.
Very good.
I will probably pick up my son early to the kindergarten because I will not go to work.
If you will probably pick up your son early tomorrow if you
Not go to work tomorrow.
if you don't go to work tomorrow. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we heard an Ingrid.
Sorry, I tried I tried to write a sentence because I was so confused with the class, so I tried to give me 1 minute, please.
Okay, don't worry.
Uh,
In the first conditional, we always use present. Yes.
Yes, present simple. Yes. The combination is will in the first part or in one part of the sentence and present simple with the part of the sentence that has the if word. Ingrid, do you have the sentence?
yeah, I don't know if it's okay. I will be here in my home all day if the technical telephone won't come early.
Yes. If the technician
Technicians.
doesn't come early.
Okay.
Doesn't.
Doesn't?
Yes, because it's present simple.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
All right. So the task was about using the second conditional because nobody knows what will happen on the 26th of August because what will happen doesn't depend on each one of us. It depends on many people, actually on 12,100,000 people. So if we don't know for sure what will happen on August 26th or after that, we need to use the second conditional to express that there is a hypothesis about what could happen if most of us vote for the referendum. That's why we need to use this structure, which is would in one part of the clause and
Past simple.
past simple in the other part of the clause. So if most or if Colombians vote for the anti-corruption referendum, politicians would get less salary or almost half of the salary that than the one they have currently, right? So the if part of the sentence,
That would be in past,
as
right?
would pass, yes. If Colombians voted for the anti-corruption referendum, politicians would get almost half of the salary than the one they have currently. I have to write a comma here because I am changing the order of what is the rule in English. So if I don't want to write the comma, I will start the sentence with politicians would get almost half of the salary than the one they have currently if Colombians voted for the anti-corruption referendum. Right? Okay, I'm going to show you some questions and I would like you to think about the answers for at least two of the questions, which are to practice that structure. Okay, here you have 8 questions. Please choose one. Sorry, choose 2. Each one of you is going to answer 2. Number 1 says, if you could live anywhere with all your family members, where would you live and why? If you could meet any famous person, dead or alive, who would it be and why? What questions would you ask that person? You could speak any other language besides English. Which language would you like to speak and why? If you could take a vacation anywhere in the world for any length of time, where would you go and why? If you didn't have enough money to get the bus home, what would you do? If you could be famous, what would you like to be famous for? If you were going to a deserted island and could only take 3 things with you, what would you take and why? If you had the opportunity to take a career break for a year, what would you do with the time? Who wants to start?
Me,
Angie, okay.
Angie.
Go ahead.
I choose the third question. If I could speak another language besides English, what language would you like to speak and why? If I could speak, what? If I could speak any other language, I could like to speak Portuguese because it's necessary in my work. I work as a flight attendant, and there are a lot of Brazilian people, and I know little words in the language. I would like to speak Portuguese.
Do you usually travel to Brazil or to Europe?
No, to anywhere, but there are a lot of Brazilians in every flight. Even in Colombia, in national flights, there are Brazilians. And maybe the other question, if I could take a vacation, if I could take a vacation, I would like to go to Santa Marta, Ciudad Perdida in Santa Marta. because I would like to disconnect me from the stress or I would like to be out from the city and breathe clear oxygen, or I would like to disconnect me from internet or stress or problems. I don't know.
Mhm. Actually, you wrote in, if I'm not wrong, you wrote in in your presentation that you like to be in contact with nature, right?
Yes, I like a lot
So, do you often travel to,
cities, big
I mean,
cities.
no. When you are not working, do you often travel to, let's say, small places or?
Yes, when, for example, I enjoy being with nature. I like to go to little towns or go to the countryside here in Cundinamarca, or I like to do hiking, or yes, or my last vacations I went to Machu Picchu. My partners saw that some pictures, and it was amazing because I walk a lot, like 3 days to get to the top of Machu Picchu. So I enjoy being with the nature.
I haven't been there. So, are there like places where you can camp and
Yeah,
then continue walking next day?
yes, but no camp. I did a reservation in hostels,
Uh-huh.
but not in the no in a camp, in a tent. No, in a
In a hostel. Okay.
yes. And like 1 month ago, I went to Leticia.
Where?
To Leticia, I went to Leticia
Ah,
like um,
how long did you stay there in Leticia?
1 week. Yes,
Great.
it was. I like it a lot, but it's a different place. I think that is not for everyone's, because maybe there are people who are afraid of mosquitoes or animals, and that destination is not for everyone.
I guess. Good.
Yes,
Interesting, Angie. Thank you.
you're welcome to check.
The word that goes, the verb that goes with hiking is go. Go hike.
Okay, go hike.
Okay, thank you. Right. Who wants to be next?
Me.
Carolina, please go ahead.
Okay, I will answer question number 8. If you had the opportunity to take a career break for a year, what will you do with the time? Actually, I will work for 6 months. I will save a lot of money, as much as I can, and then I will go to travel to visit different countries.
Any specific country?
Actually, right now I'm like saving money, and I'm making a lot of plans to visit Europe, and maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 countries.
Good. Okay. And what's the second question that you want to answer?
The second question, if I didn't have enough money to get the bus home, what will you do? I will ask people. I will ask for some money to some people, or maybe I will take a long way walk to my home, or to a relative's house. I don't know, something that will be like close to that area, maybe.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Carolina.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to be next?
Me. Hola.
Paola. Okay. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm going to answer the first question. If I could live in another country, I will like to live in England. because I want to improve my English, and I really want to learn this fancy accent that the people speak in England. I think it's so polite, but I don't know. I really like to learn this accent.
Have you been to the United States?
No, no, but I have many friends from there. But I know that the accent is different. So this is the reason because I want to learn that accent, or maybe try to learn.
Okay.
And the other question, if I could speak another language, I would like to speak Russian language. Because I like the Russian culture, the politician structure, the architect, and all the royal history with the Romanov family. I'm obsessed with that. I try to read a lot of this history, the politician structure.
Okay. Are you planning probably to go there in the future, like in the near future?
Yeah, but I don't have money yet, and I don't save the money yet. But this is a plan for long future. But I want to, I want to do it someday.
Okay. Thank you, Paola. Right, who's next? Who wants to?
Jaime.
Jaime, go ahead.
Okay. The first question is, if you could live anywhere with all your family members, where would you live? Why? I think that I would.
Jaime?
Hear me, teacher?
Yes, now we can hear you. So could you please repeat, because we couldn't hear?
First question, teacher.
Uh-huh.
I think that I would live in Australia, because I think that it's a beautiful country, and I would like to learn surfing, and see the and see the sea, and improve my English too.
Okay.
That was my first answer. And the second question is if you could be famous, what would you like to be famous for? I think that I would like to be Gandhi because I think that he was a great leader, and he direct to the people to or he get the freedom for his nation, and get enormous field for his country. For example, the freedom, and get the peace without use guns.
Without using the violence. Okay, Jaime, what is the past of the verb get? What is the past form?
The past form of get?
Yes. Well, but okay.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. So yeah, Jaime is, since the past is got, so you will say he got. Gandhi got.
Okay, teacher, yes.
Gandhi got important things for his country. And this word, you are pronouncing this sound as F. You're saying this. So please put your tongue in the middle of your teeth. So it's think, think. Please try that. Put the tongue in the middle of the teeth. Think, think.
Think. Think.
Ok, ahora pronúnciala acá. Think. Think.
Think.
Think.
Think.
Bueno, I'm going to send you a link to practice this sound with a video in YouTube. Yes, it's important that you practice it with the exercises with the link that I'm going to give you. Otherwise, you can say other words. Sometimes students say this, and that means something different in English. This is the verb hundirse, right? So it is important to practice the sound, which is something that we don't have in Spanish, okay? I will send the link to you. Okay. Thank you, Jaime. What, okay, who wants to be next?
Me, Angela.
Angela?
No.
Angela, go ahead.
Okay, so if I could live anywhere with my family members, I would like to live in France. And why? Because I lived there. I lived there for a year, so I miss it so much. And if I didn't have enough money to get the bus home, I guess, like Carolina, I will ask someone for money. Maybe I will like sing or something, so they could give me money to go back home.
Okay. Angela, are you planning to go to France soon to visit your family?
Yes, right now I'm finishing early childhood education. I'm missing just 2 semesters, so I'll finish and I'll go back to France.
Are you studying childhood education at San Buenaventura too?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Angela.
Okay.
All right, so we haven't heard Mayra and Rafael.
Me, teacher.
Tania, go ahead, please.
Okay, my first question is the first one. If you could live anywhere with all your family members, well, I would like to live in Jamaica because since was a little child, I liked this place because of its beaches, and well, the main reason is because because of the people, and I have many friends from Jamaica.
Great. How long did you stay there?
Uh, 3 months.
Okay.
Yes.
And how old were you when you went there?
5 years.
Good. And do you still keep in touch with the people that you met at that time?
Yes, teacher.
How many friends do you have from there?
I'm sorry, teacher. I have well, here in Colombia, I have one friend from Jamaica. He's living here now because he's he's learning Spanish. And well, another maybe 5 or 6 friends more, but they are living in Jamaica now.
Okay, good. Interesting. And what's the second question that you want to answer?
Well, the other question is the number 5. If you didn't have enough money, well, I think it's a funny question and a real story. I will ask money to the people who pass by the street, and I will tell them a funny story to help me with money.
So that happened to you in real life?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah,
And did you get the money
yeah.
fast, quickly, or did it take you like how long did it take you to get the money?
No, it was fast because I was telling a funny story, and people helped me
Okay,
for that reason.
okay, good. All right, Daniel, thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Now we haven't heard Mayra and Rafael. So
What
who
about me,
wants to be
teacher?
next? Rafael?
What about me? Yes? Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, well, teacher, I'm going to choose the eighth. Well, no, the fifth. What is that? The sixth question. Well, if I could be famous, I would like to be famous for being a great chef. Because cooking is one of my passions. A part of teaching. I like cooking, and well, I would like to learn how to cook delicious plates, delicious dishes, and I love those dishes when you eat and you feel like in a paradise eating awesome dishes. And sometimes I watch some tutorials of how to prepare dishes and something like that. And sometimes I like also to um, surprise my wife eating a nice dish prepared by me. Yes.
Okay.
And the another one is what is if I could speak any other language besides English, which language will we I would like to speak? In this case, I would like to learn how to speak French because it's a romantic language. Well, I have been told that this language is the language of love and stuff like that. So I would like to learn how to do it. I know it's kind of difficult to learn French, and well, I don't know anything about it. But when I hear French speaking people, I really like it. I really like the accent and how it sounds.
Mm. All right.
Yes.
Then you can practice with your classmate. Uh, Angela knows how to speak
Yes.
French.
Okay. Good. Good choice. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Rafael.
Thank you.
I forgot to tell all of you that if you want to ask any question to your classmates, you are free to do it.
Okay.
Okay, and Mayra, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. So Mayra, what are the questions that you show?
So the first question will be number 4. If you could take a vacation anywhere in the world for any length of time, where would you go? Why? Okay. So I think I will go to Japan. I like to go to Japan. I have never been to Japan, but I am deeply fascinated by this country and its culture. I would choose to go on a vacation to this country because I would like to know if this is a country that I will consider living in someday.
Okay.
So okay, things that I would like to see, maybe how the city lights up at night. The convenience stores next to the houses. I would like to visit the mountains and the hot springs. The snowy resort towns and the humid sunny islands. Yeah. And what else? I don't know, Japan seems to me like a place where there's always something to see or do. And if not, simply take a train to another one. It's a beautiful country. I think it's a very magical city. What is the other question? For the length of time, I would consider to go maybe for a month. To stay there for a month, and yeah, I think that's it, right?
So if you had the time, you would stay there for a month, right?
For a month, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had the time, yeah. Hopefully next year.
Great. Do you have friends there? Or?
No, no, no. I would go by myself, and yeah,
Great.
No, I don't have any relatives or friends. Yeah.
I think that's like an interesting place because it's different to our culture, and then the technology they have makes it like, or makes me think that anyone who goes there from Colombia would find something new and different. There's something amazing because it's a different culture.
Exactly. Yeah.
So hopefully you go there.
Yeah, hopefully. And the next question, wait, what is it? If you could speak any other language, which language would you like to speak? I think Portuguese.
And why?
Well, I think I will pick it up pretty fast because, as you know, it's pretty similar to Spanish. And another reason would be because I like some Brazilian music. I like to listen to some Brazilian music. Sertanejo Universitário, that's what it's called. I love the way it sounds when people speak this language, and I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, but the Portuguese will be the language.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mayra.
Okay.
Okay, so we review it and you practice how to talk about hypothetical situations, and I would like to ask you about how to talk about regrets, because that is, in order to do that, we use the third conditional. So let me. So, regrets are something that we cannot change from the past, but we think about that in the past we had two possibilities and we chose one. And we think about what would have happened if we had chosen the second option, the one that we didn't choose. So for regrets, we use the third conditional. And I'm going to show you an example, and then I would like you to think about one situation, one moment in the past where you had to choose from two choices, and what do you think would have happened if you had chosen the option that you didn't get? Let's see. For example, in my case, when I finished my studies at high school, I wanted to study hotel management and tourism. But I also liked languages. So I took the exam at the National University and I was admitted. So I decided to study, the name of the program there is Philology and Languages with emphasis in English. So I started studying there and then I forgot about hotel management and tourism. So this is the sentence when we think about what would have happened if I had chosen a different option. So if I hadn't been admitted at the National University to study languages, I would have studied hotel management and tourism, and I would have probably worked for a hotel. So this is the structure. We have past simple, and then we have would with present perfect. So one is past simple, sorry, past perfect, and the other is present perfect, past perfect and present perfect. I'm going to give you other example.
Teacher,
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can I use past perfect continue with a third conditional?
Yes, it is possible. Okay, here we have other example. When I was admitted at the university, I started studying French. I chose French instead of English as the main language. So, but after 1 year, I changed my major. Major is the most important or the core of the studies at a university. So all of you are majoring in English. Other people can major in, let's say, psychology. Other people can major in economy. In my case, the students at the National University can major in English, French, or German. And at the beginning, I was majoring in French, but then I changed my mind and I moved to English. So the reflection is, because regrets is a reflection about the past that you cannot change. It's something that already happened. So if I had majored in French, I would have probably lived in France for some years, since the National University offered some opportunities to travel to France for students who major in French. Yes, but that didn't happen because my decision was different. The structure is past simple and then would with present perfect. So past simple and present perfect. I'm going to give you a third example. Once in my life, I had the opportunity to travel in a bilingual school or to start working in a university. So at that time, I applied to both jobs and I was accepted in both jobs the same day. So I made a decision and I decided to start to work in the university and not in the bilingual school. So the reflection about the decision I made in the past is, if I had chosen to work for the bilingual school, I would have probably taught English to primary students. Yes? That is not true because I made a different choice, but that is the reflection. So again, we have past perfect and would with present perfect. Okay, so I want you to think about a moment in your life when you had to choose between two options, either for your studies or for a trip or for a job or for well, any other situation, and I want you to write a sentence and then read it aloud to practice that structure.
Teacher, in negative form, for example, good have is always positive, or can I say I couldn't have, or
Yes,
how is the
for example,
negative? Okay.
I could say if I hadn't chosen to work at the university, I would have uh, worked for a bilingual school.
Okay.
Okay, you can use the negative one.
But good have never changed. Always is good
Okay,
have. So,
here, no, it can also be negative. If I had chosen to work at the university, I wouldn't have worked for a bilingual school.
okay. Thank you.
Although if you translate that into Spanish, the meaning is different. This is just an example, but it's not what I wrote there doesn't match my reality because the translation will be, si hubiera escogido trabajar en la universidad, no habría trabajado para
Sí.
un colegio bilingüe.
Teacher, I have mine. I don't know if it's okay.
Okay, Carolina, what's yours?
Okay, when I finished high school, I wasn't sure about what I wanted to study. So I decided to go to the United States to learn some English and to have some new experiences. If I hadn't decided to go to the United States, I wouldn't have chosen this degree or this undergraduate program in English.
Yes, that's correct.
It's okay?
Yes, it's okay. That is okay.
Okay.
Good. Who else has the written sentence?
Me, Paola.
Paola? Okay.
If I had stopped working, I will already be a graduate.
Okay, if I had stopped working, I would have already graduated. Good. Thank you, Paola. Who else?
Me, teacher.
Rafael?
Yes. Well, teacher, when I was when I was required for the job that I'm doing now as a teacher, the rector told me that I had the possibility to choose between two grades, sixth grade and 11th grade. And if I had chosen teaching to 11th grade, I couldn't have the possibility to teach in sixth graders.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. Who else?
Me, teacher, but I'm not sure if it's correct.
Okay.
If I hadn't eaten a lot of gums when I was a girl, I wouldn't have got appendicitis. Appendicitis.
Uh-huh. If you hadn't eaten what?
How do you say chicles? Gums?
Ah, okay.
Chicle?
Yes, chewing gums.
Okay. Yes.
Good. As you see, there isn't any word in the sentence that is about now, because we don't use in Spanish. We use now. I mean, we say si yo hubiera ahorrado dinero hace 2 años, yo tendría un carro ahora. In English, we don't use the word now because it's not a connection with the present. It's a reflection about the past that we cannot change.
Okay.
Okay, good. Who else has a sentence?
Me, Angela.
Yes.
If I hadn't moved to Bogota, I wouldn't study early childhood education.
Okay.
Teacher.
I wouldn't have. Okay, I wouldn't have studied.
Okay, wouldn't have studied early childhood education.
Teacher?
Yes. Jaime.
Yes, teacher. If I hadn't been overweight, I would not have harmed my knee.
Uh-huh. If I hadn't been overweight, I wouldn't have hurt my knee. Good. And Mayra?
Yeah, I have one.
Uh-huh.
If I hadn't moved to Florida, I would have become more fluent in English.
Okay.
I used to live in California and I moved to Florida, and that's what happened.
Okay. If I hadn't moved
to Florida,
Florida,
I would have become more fluent in English.
Good. Very good. Okay, questions about this structure? The idea is to memorize the combinations, because in Spanish it doesn't work the same. So if we memorize the combinations and we do different sentences, then we can use that. No questions?
No, teacher, I think it's okay for me first.
Okay. In the virtual room, remember that there are always two TOEFL questionnaires. One is for you to practice, and you don't have any score. You can take it several times. And the second one is the second one has a score. It's graded. So just to let you know that and to remember that, to remind you that information. And there is always one task to practice what you studied in Dexway, which is in this case this week it's a video with a questionnaire about the listening comprehension of companies which are successful. Because this week in Dexway you are studying passive voice. So the video has some sentences about companies that are successful in the world, and the sentences use passive voice. So that's why you have that task. Good. So any question about the course or the class?
No, teacher.
What we will also do during the encounters is to have debates about different topics that probably are not linked to what you study in Dexway, but the purpose will be to help you practice speaking and to help you or to foster like how to to help you to give opinions, to help you to justify your opinions, and to practice speaking. That will be when we have the debates. That will be the purpose. Any questions about what you have studied in Dexway or what you have studied in about TOEFL types of questions?
No, teacher.
Anybody?
No, I think that is clear.
Okay. So that's what we had today. I'll meet you again next Tuesday, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, teacher.
Good. Thank you all.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you,
Thank you
teacher.
so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, teacher. Good evening. Good night.
Thank you.